There is a moment when a country changes, not officially, not with someone standing at a podium saying, right, Britain is different now. It happens when people start checking the news before they leave the house. When parents look at their children and think, would I know what to do if something kicked off near us? When a stabbing, a protest, a fire or a riot stops feeling like something that happened somewhere else. And after the Henry Noack case, after the Belfast stabbing, after the riots, fires, vehicles burning, homes being threatened, and police stretched thin, I think a lot of people in the UK are asking the same question. If disorder came near my street, would I actually be ready to protect my family? Welcome back to Charlie Survival. If you're new here, subscribe for calm UK-focused preparedness without the bunker fantasy. And leave a comment below if unrest happened near your town. What is the first thing you'd do? Stay home, leave early, or check on family? Even official advice now talks about household emergency kits, written numbers, smoke alarms, and grab bags. But this video is not about panic, it's not about politics, and it's definitely not about going out looking for trouble. This is about the opposite. It's about keeping your family away from trouble before trouble reaches your door. Most people imagine riots as something obvious, a big crowd, police vans, fire, sirens. But the dangerous part usually starts earlier than that. It starts with a rumour, a video, a message in the local group, a gathering outside a shop, a road suddenly blocked, a bus route stopped, a high street that feels wrong. And if you wait until you can see flames, you have waited too long. So here is the first rule. Do not prepare to fight a riot, prepare to avoid one. Your job is not to stand your ground in the middle of chaos. Your job is to get your partner, your children, your elderly relatives, your pets, and yourself away from the blast radius before everyone else realizes there is one. So tonight, before anything else happens, do a 5-minute map check of your area. Where are the likely flashpoints? Town centres, police stations, transport hubs, certain pubs, incident locations, council buildings, places where crowds already gather. Then ask a simple question. If that road closed, how would I get home? And if I could not get home, where would I go? Most families do not have a plan, they have hope, and hope is not a route. The second thing is communication. During unrest, the first thing to break is not always the power, it is clarity. Everyone starts forwarding messages. Half of them are wrong. Some are old videos, some are rumours, some are designed to make you angry. So build a family communication plan before emotions are high. One group chat for practical updates only. One out-of-area contact everyone can message if local signal is poor. A written physical list of phone numbers because your phone is only useful until it dies. And one simple phrase that means come home now, no debate. And if you have children old enough to understand, teach them 3 things. How to call 999, their address, and where to go if they cannot reach you. That is not fear, that is parenting. Now let's talk about the home. Most people think home security means locks and cameras. Those matter, but during riots and fires, the biggest question is this. If the street outside became unsafe, could your home buy you time? Start with the basics. Good locks, working exterior lights, curtains or blinds that close properly, a charged phone upstairs and downstairs, shoes near the bed, keys in the same place every night. Then look at glass. Windows are one of the weakest points for most British homes. Safety or security window film can help hold shattered glass together. It will not make the window invincible, it will not stop every threat. But in a situation where something is thrown or a window cracks, anything that reduces flying glass in by seconds is worth considering. And while we are on smoke and fire, this is where most people are badly unprepared. In Belfast, we saw fires, vehicles burning, homes threatened, businesses damaged. And the scary thing about fire is that it spreads faster than people think. So your riot preparedness kit is not just a torch and power bank. It should include fire preparedness. You want smoke alarms in the right places, not just one old alarm in the hallway with a dead battery. Put alarms in rooms where fire could start, and use a heat alarm in the kitchen so it's not constantly going off from burnt toast. Test them monthly. Consider a letterbox guard, and move your car away from your house. Have a fire blanket in the kitchen, have appropriate fire extinguisher where you can reach it. But understand this clearly, an extinguisher is for a tiny early fire with your exits behind you. If the fire is spreading, if there is smoke or you are unsure, you get out, close the door and call 999. You're not trying to be a firefighter, you're trying to survive. If you want a simple place to start for kits, I keep my Charlie Survival Amazon kit list linked below with the practical items I talk about across the channel. I've also got a free blackout checklist linked in the pinned comment. That is the easiest next step if you want something practical you can download today. And for people who want the full UK specific system, I created the UK Crisis Readiness System. It goes deeper than one video: water, food, power cuts, home plans, evacuation, and realistic British emergencies. There are now over 70 active members inside, and the feedback has been genuinely encouraging because it is helping people move from anxious scrolling to having an actual plan. It's also half price for this month, so if you've been thinking about sourcing this properly, this is a good time. Now, let's go back to first aid because I think this is the part a lot of UK households are missing. Most first aid kits are built for small cuts and plasters. That is useful, but it's not enough for the kind of incidents we are now seeing. You want 3 layers. First, normal injuries, plasters, dressings, gloves, antiseptic wipes, tape, triangular bandage, eye wash, pain relief. Second, serious bleeding, pressure dressings, trauma dressings, and proper training so you know how to apply pressure and call for help. Third, burns and smoke-related problems. This is the layer people forget. Add burn dressings, add burn gel, add cling film for covering a cooled burn without wrapping it tightly, add eye wash, add disposable gloves, add eye protection goggles, because smoke, dust, glass and debris can turn a bad situation into a blinding one, and add a proper mask for dust and smoke exposure. But be careful here, a mask does not make fire smoke safe. Fire smoke can be toxic. A mask is not permission to walk into smoke or stay in a burning building. It is for reducing exposure while moving away from light, smoke, dust or debris. If there is heavy smoke, the plan is not put a mask on, the plan is get low, get out, call 999. For burns, remember this simple rule: cool the burn under running cool water for at least 20 minutes. Remove jewelry or clothing nearby if it is not stuck. Cover with cling film after cooling, and get medical help for serious burns. Do not put butter on it, do not smear random creams on it, do not burst blisters. Old myths can make injuries worse. The next thing is movement. If unrest is happening near you, leaving can be safer than staying, but only if you leave early. Once roads close, public transport stops or crowds start moving, travel becomes the risk. So have a small grab bag ready. Not a military bag, not camouflage, just a normal looking bag with water, snacks, medication, phone charger, power bank, torch, spare keys, cash, copies of important documents, warm layer, basic first aid, and anything your children or pets need. The goal is not to disappear into the woods for 6 months. The goal is to spend the night at your mum's house, a friend's house, a hotel, or somewhere away from the trouble without leaving in panic. And please think about your car. Keep fuel above half if tensions are rising locally. Keep a charger, water, blanket, high-vis, and first aid kit in the boot. Know 2 routes out of your area, and if you drive towards a crowd because you are curious, you are doing the opposite of protecting your family. Curiosity gets people hurt. The next rule is emotional discipline. When something truly awful happens, people get angry. I understand that. You see a video, you see a victim, you see fires, you think, what is happening to this country? But anger is not a plan. In a riot, anger makes you predictable. It makes you walk towards noise. It makes you argue with strangers. It makes you film instead of leave. It makes you post something online that winds up people instead of calming your household down. The prepared person is not the loudest person in the room. The prepared person is the calmest. Your family does not need you to win an argument on Facebook. They need you to notice when the mood in your town is changing. They need you to have fuel in the car. They need you to have a fire alarm that works. They need you to know where the first aid kit is. And finally, build community before crisis. The safest street is not always the street with the strongest doors. It's often the street with people who know each other. Know your neighbours, especially the elderly ones. Swap numbers with 1 or 2 sensible people nearby. Not for gossip, for practical information. Smoke seen on this road, avoid this junction. Mrs. Jones needs help with medication. The power is out, police have closed that route. Community is an early warning system. So what do we actually do after watching this? Tonight, check your smoke alarms. Look at your first aid kit. Add burn treatment, add cling film. Add eye protection. Think about smoke. Check your exits. Write down numbers. Choose a family phrase. Pick 2 routes home. Put shoes and keys where you can find them. And stop assuming that because you live in Britain, disorder cannot reach your street. Britain is not collapsing tonight or this weekend, but Britain is changing. And the families who do best in changing times are not the ones who panic first, they are the ones who quietly prepared early. Leave a comment below, what is the one thing you are upgrading after this video? And subscribe if you want calm UK preparedness and survival without the drama. Download the free blackout checklist from the pinned comments. That is the easiest first step. If you want the deeper step-by-step plan, join the UK Crisis Readiness system while it's half price this month. It's built to take you from I know I should prepare to my family actually has a plan. And if you want the kit side of things made easier, check the Charlie Survival Amazon kit list below as a practical starting point. Because the point is not to live in fear, the point is to be the person your family can rely on. If you enjoyed this one and gained something from it, I recommend clicking this video on screen now about the El Nino and the effects that will come into the UK. Click it and I'll see you over there.